it's really expensive currently to do all of this test time compute. Tokens are relatively cheap, but when you continue to stack them on top of each other and really allow a model to think for minutes, hours, days, weeks, maybe even months, that becomes really expensive. But just like every other technology, inference is going to get cheaper. As continual investments flood into the AI market, new technologies, new innovations happen with chips, this inference will get cheaper. But what happens when it gets cheaper? Does that mean the market is going to shrink? Because if everybody's buying the same amount of compute, but it's a lot cheaper, then the total amount of spend is a lot less. Well, no. And speaking of Jonathan Ross, he actually covered this exact point, which I thought was incredibly interesting. When you make compute cheaper, do people buy more? Yes, it's called Jevons Paradox, and it's a big part of our business thesis. So let's look at an example. In the 1860s, an Englishman wrote a treatise on coal where he noted that every time steam engines got more efficient, people bought more coal. It's a paradox because if they're more efficient, why are they buying more? Well, the answer is when you make a steam engine more efficient, it reduces the OPEX, operating expenses. And when you reduce the OPEX, it increases the number of activities that are profitable. Therefore, people will do more things using steam engines and coal demand rises. The same paradox applies to compute. So let me just break it down really quickly. Let's say you have this technology and it's really expensive, but it's useful for this one use case because you can go ahead and charge your customers a lot for it. Well, if all of a sudden that technology became orders of magnitude less expensive, the amount of use cases that you can apply it to increases dramatically. And that means you're really going to be spending a lot more, even though each unit of that technology is a lot cheaper because you have a lot more use cases that you can go ahead and resell to your customers.